is that? Why is my computer doing this? Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling I need to start this video, because this whole week went by and it's a blur. I don't even know how we're back here at Tuesday with a weekly recap, and I don't think I've crocheted a single thing for my market that I have coming up this week. Yet I was busy all week working on different stuff. Hey, it's Tammy, Crafty Mompreneur here. If you're new, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. Clearly this video didn't get started off the way that I wanted to when I opened up my computer and all I saw was a fuzzy screen. Go figure. But it is Tuesday, and what that means is it's time for my weekly recap. Now in this video, I started off in this channel by sharing my weekly progress towards getting monetized. And once that happened in about 40 days, then I've kind of switched up these Tuesday videos to be more of a what I crafted, what I crocheted, that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to be doing in this week's video. And let me tell you, there was not much crocheting. We're also going to cover this kind of last minute market that I did. And I'm also going to give you a little bit of insight on the project I started working on yesterday. That is my biggest crochet project thus far. So let's get to the video. As I mentioned in the opening part of this video, I don't have a lot of crochet things to show you because a lot of my time last week was finishing this video. I crocheted, moodangs all week long. So as far as the other crafting that I've done, it is Halloween season, and it seems like around this time every year I am either making costumes, altering costumes, like I'm doing more sewing as of late than anything else. So my daughter asked me to make this costume for her, and this week I ended up going across town to try and find the right fabric for it. So that took up a whole afternoon. I'm planning to do a whole video about creating this costume, but in these weekly updates, I thought I would just give you little snippets of what I'm working on. And so I couldn't let today's video go by without at least showing you some of the stuff that I'm working on, right? So for Padme's costume, I thought we would start with the skirt. So I picked up a pattern at Joann's, and this is how far I've gotten. So it's basically, this is the overlay, and then it's this gold underneath. I still have to do like the shawl, I have to do the sleeves, make the earpiece. There's still a lot of crafting going on. The Padme costume is underway, so stay tuned for that video. The only other costumey thing that I worked on this week, or that I did this week, was one of my daughter's friends needed her Halloween costume altered, and I thought that I did it right, but I kind of made it, she said, a little too short. But let me explain. So on the dress, and we marked it where she wanted the hem to be. Then I left, about that much, and then I cut it off. See, you can see right here that I cut across, and this is actually the back. So it's actually even a little bit shorter in the front than in the back, because this would be the back piece. So it's not that I cut it wrong, it's just that I didn't account for curvature of the butt. And I was like, oh no, I will fix it. I will do something to fix it. So what I did is I ended up just taking out the hem and putting the tiniest of hems. Like I literally just put it over once and did it, and it gave her about that much more on the back of her dress. I guess what I'm getting at is that even though I cut it, like the back is even a little bit longer than the front, because this was the front. I didn't account for like the curve in the butt, I guess, and that's what made it too short. I am not someone who does a lot of clothing or alterations or anything. I enjoy sewing, but clothes alterations and things like that is not my forte, obviously. I can do a hem, basic hems and things like that, but It's honestly not my favorite thing to do, and luckily this is just a Halloween costume and it's not some fancy dress for an event or, you know, whatever. It's Halloween costume, so not a big deal, and I think I fixed it enough that it's not too short, but what are you gonna do, right? Note to self, leave room, extra room if you're hemming a dress that's fitted, that, you know, leave extra room in the bottom, in the back for the bottom, if you know what I mean. Another thing that happened this week is I found out about a market that is literally like 2 miles from my house in a little community area that I wanted to be a part of. And so I got the information on it and I found out that they already had people for crochet as well as scrunchies. So my first thought was, that's awesome, because finally a market that, you know, isn't going to be oversaturated with one type of vendor. I've done previous markets where there were like 5 crochet vendors when there was only like 20 something booths. So I was really happy to hear that. When I told her the other things that I craft and sell, figured out that I could bring the dog bandanas that I make, as well as our key fob keychains. So I went ahead and signed up for it. It was a total last minute market, and I really just wanted to see what it was like and see how our dog bandanas do with that being our only product, basically. I'd never done just a market with just the bandanas. So this week I did have to kind of reconfigure our booth layout and see how I was going to set that up, because we usually just have one display for the bandanas with one table, like a 4-foot table and the bandanas. And this is kind of the layout that I came up with. You want to see, you know, I put holiday and the fall bandanas up on a 6-foot table with some of the wire racks, which ended up being a little bit of a disaster because the signs I bought and made were made of glass and we had some wind pick up and one shattered. So that was not my best idea. So future side note is to don't bring glass frames, find ones that have plastic. It was a 4-hour market, and I think we did, after we paid the booth fee plus the registration fee, which was only a $20 booth fee and a $25 registration fee one time. I think maybe was about $90. It was okay. And the reason why I would do it again, I mean, I don't have a lot of dates open, but I think I can fit one in once a month with just the bandanas, because I would want to be able to be on the list if a crochet spot did open up for spring markets, because it's so close to home and I feel like it's in a great location. And once people start knowing about it and stuff, it'll be a really good market. Plus there's, you know, the opportunity for the market to grow into a bigger space once some construction is done. So I feel like it's got a lot of potential, and I just can't beat it being so close to home. And finally, I have had this on my list of things to make since I initially saw a few creators making them, and I've finally started it. It's going to be the biggest crochet plushie that I have ever made before. And this is the first of 8 of these. Guess what it is? I'm sure you can guess what it is with this, right? It is this pattern right here, Anchor the Octopus by The Humble Child, I think. I'll put it here and it'll also be in the description box below. 1 tentacle done. 1 tentacle plus the other 8 in process. So this is going to be its own YouTube video showing, like, documenting the process of making my biggest plushie. So stay tuned for that. This one's going to take a while, so I'm not sure when this one's going to show up as a YouTube video. You'll get little tidbits of it in this weekly update, but I have so much crocheting to do. I probably should just end this video right here and get to crocheting and sewing and all the other crafting that I have to do within the next like 2 weeks for a market we have this weekend. Then we have Halloween, and then all the market prep for holiday markets. Got granny squares to make, so much to do, but it's okay because this is kind of my job now. It's what I do and I love it. So it doesn't really feel like work. I think that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this different kind of style of video, kind of a recap of all the things that are going on. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because on Friday, I am pulling together all of my favorite holiday patterns that are all going to be low sew to no sew because that's kind of my thing. I don't like to sew on a lot of parts and all of that kind of stuff. So that will be Friday's video. So make sure that you subscribe and we will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.